The Saints quarterback situation just took an interesting turn. This is from Saturday morning inspection. Ladies and gentlemen, this video, I'm filming this on a Saturday. This video came out on a Friday. So this is relatively new information that they're talking about. I was kind of surprised. When I saw the title of the video, I was like, okay, this must be when they drafted Spencer Rattler. This is from a day ago. So I'm interested to see what the interesting turn is. We are here with Andrew, and behind me, Nicholas from Saturday Morning Inspection.
Talk about the New Orleans Saints, specifically the quarterback position on the Saints. Obviously, Derek Carr is the short-term answer. I think everyone...
Before we get going, the lighting, unbelievable for both these guys. Should I move my camera? Because Nicholas is behind me. Would that be weird for y'all if I moved my camera? Oh, I'm floating. Should I be over here? I'll be over here for this video. This is wild. I'm looking at the second screen here. I kind of like the mic placement, though. I like how the mic is, instead of floating. Should I be on the right side of the videos this whole time? Let's let Andrew and Nicholas take it away. But the lighting, both of them, very well lit. Backlight. Very impressive.
Understands that, but it's clear New Orleans is looking for their next guy, the next heir apparent to finally replace Drew Brees the best they possibly can, as much as you can replace a literal living legend. But what's interesting is a couple updates involving the quarterback battle for the young players on this roster. Specifically, one Spencer Rattler seems to be making a lot of impressive moves. Let's pull up this first tweet. According to 32 Beat Writers, which is a great follow on Twitter, they follow beat writers throughout the NFL and repost their stuff. It's great stuff. They give all the credit to the sources. Follow them on Twitter. But according to their post, Spencer Rattler to A.T. Perry. This was Rattler's last pass in the session, and he made an extremely tight throw that saw Perry go up and get it in the back of the end zone, working against John Wright. The Saints defense was in disbelief, and my note simply said, holy expletive. It was easily one of the best plays of the day. All right, so there's been reports Rattler's had a good OTA period. After a slow start, he's getting better and better. This was further evidence of that. A kind of holy crap play, right, that you love seeing the arm talent, the best quarterbacks in the NFL, the Staffords, Mahomes, the Allens, right, those kind of throws. It looks like that Rattler's starting to make them, and it looks like the Saints are recognizing this as well. Let's go into our...
I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of people, whether it's reporters or fans or whoever, shining a light and like spotlighting every single throw, every single play in OTAs and minicamp. Like I don't really care if Spencer Rattler throws a touchdown in OTAs and 7-on-7 in shorts and a t-shirt. Just like I don't care if he throws an interception. They're all this, to me, they're all the same. To me, it's just practice. It's the same as like a driving range. Like I don't care. I could care less. What if I bet on Brooks Koepka to win the U.S. Open? I don't care about what he's doing on the range. Like if you told me like Brooks Koepka just striping the ball, striped his second shot on the driving range, why would I care about that? You know, like that doesn't matter. It doesn't translate. I don't think anything, as long as they are developing. Like as long as there is year over year, month over month turnover of like, okay, he's getting better, he's getting more comfortable, he's learning the system, he's doing this, he's doing that, like it's coming along. As long as that's taking place, I could care less about if he goes 15 for 15 in OTAs or if he goes 0 for 15. Like if he goes 0 for 15, I guess maybe they might cut him or something like that. That could be problematic, but do not get caught up. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The absolute dumbest thing in the world, don't look at me like that, Andrew. The dumbest thing in the world, the most useless thing in the world is OTA and minicamp stats. Like when I saw on Twitter the other day, it was all the stats. It was like Derek Carr, 48 for 57 for 412 yards and 8 touchdowns, no interception. And it had every quarterback. It's like, guys, they're not wearing pads. Like they're in 7-on-7. Who cares? You know, I didn't keep track of my intramural softball stats. It would look ridiculous if I'd be like, man, guys, I hit 715 with, 246 runs in adult league softball. Like, who who really cares? So I don't put a lot of stock into that.
Our next tweet from Jeff Nowak, this was from yesterday. He noted that Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener have been switching back and forth between the twos, second and threes, third string throughout OTAs.
No
Today's
shit.
was just the first time we saw the switch.
No shit. Who what else are they supposed to be doing? Of course they're going to switch back and forth. There's a competition. They're trying to figure out, the coaches are trying to figure out who is the 2 and who is the 3. But they're also trying to simulate competition. Same thing that happened in Tampa last year when they brought in Baker Mayfield. It was like, okay, who is going to be the starting quarterback? Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield, they're competing. I'm sure in Tampa they simulated a competition. I'm sure even if they know, like, let's just pretend they know Jake Haener is going to be the backup. They're going to let Spencer Rattler take some reps with the 2s, 1, to see what Rattler can do, and 2, to give Haener the idea of like, hey man, step it up. Like, hey, you're taking reps with the 3s today. So, it gives them like that extra motivation if they want to win the role. So, I mean, this again, non-issue.
So for everyone watching, it's important to understand that anytime you have a rookie quarterback, the only time they ever get reps with the second string is if they're a guy competing for serious playing time or to be a legitimate backup, right? So we're talking first-round pick, second-round pick quarterbacks. They get reps at the second string in OTAs. Other than that, you're dealing with the third and fourth string if you're a rookie because there's headaches are going to happen, right? Obviously. The fact that Rattler is getting those reps with the second string now, I think that means he's impressing the Saints coaching staff as well in the film room, on the practice field where we can't see it, where they're like, hey, this guy could be ready to get reps with the 2s and OTAs and maybe even sprinkle in some reps there, I say, with the 1s during training camp. Looks like Rattler's making some big waves. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Saints fans, in the comment section below.
I don't think that's how it works at all. If you have like an established backup, yeah, the rookie's going to take reps with the 3s and the 4s. But if the rookie is battling a second year or third year, or maybe even fourth year is a little long in the tooth, but a second year or a third year player, and you're not sure who the backup's going to be because your backup is gone from the previous year, and there is a legitimate backup competition, the rookie is going to get reps with the 2s. Like that is very commonplace. I don't think that's crazy at all. I did Nick no favors with this pause, but yeah, I mean, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the Saints had turnover at their backup quarterback position. So they have a backup quarterback competition right now because they have 2 young guys, a veteran left. They have two young guys battling it out for it. So, of course, Rattler's going to get reps, and of course, Haener's going to get reps. And I don't think it really matters one way or the other who's the backup or not. I did a video on this earlier in the year. If I had my choice, Derek Carr would take every single snap, and we would never see Rattler or Haener play this year. So why do I care if one of them's the second string or the third string? It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me who's standing where during stretching before the games. Best case scenario, Derek Carr's healthy all year, and these guys never take a meaningful snap. So, the competition's good. Like, I think it's good for the players to feel competition and to have a motivating thing, but beyond that, like, I don't think it's really impactful for the actual Saints.
Outside of Drew Brees, who is your favorite quarterback in Saints history, right? There's obviously a guy from Mississippi
who came. This. So, I hate to be critical of videos, and I have nothing against these guys, but I cannot stand when in the middle of a video, people they simulate comments. Like, they simulate, like, we're talking about Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler, whatever. And now, 2.5 minutes into the video, we're stopping, and he's asking Saints fans to comment who is their top 3 favorite Saints quarterbacks of all time or whatever. Who is the best top 3 Saints quarterbacks of all time? And it's strictly to simulate engagement. It's strictly to simulate conversation in the comments because that helps channels. That helps your algorithm. But to what my thought is that if the video isn't on its own engaging enough to create comments in the comment section, then there needs to be a change in the video. whenever videos do this, it throws me off. It makes me feel like they're playing me for a fool, is how it makes me feel. I have never, ever, ever in a video, in the middle of a topic, in the middle of a conversation, been like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're talking about the Saints in the NFC South, but get on down in the comments below after you smash that like button. Get on down in the comments below and tell me what's your number one favorite soup. Can we get in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen? Can we get your top? Give me your top 40 soups. Top 40 soups in the comments below. And I'll be down there replying to your top 40 soups in the comments. All right, now let's get back to, it's just crazy. It's like they throw a commercial into their own videos.
Who came to New Orleans in the 60s, did a lot of great things there, of course. Created a family that we all know, but of course there's other guys throughout the Saints history that did some good things at the quarterback position. Give us your favorite quarterback in Saints history and put them in the comment section below. And while you're in the comment section below, if you want to be the smartest guy in the comment section, make sure you check out our list of preferred reading. We've got a list of books in the description of the video below that just highlights some great NFL books from some great authors. Highly recommended. Summer reading, Father's Day gift, whatever you want. It's a great list. Check it out. But Mize, what are your thoughts on this update with the Saints at the quarterback position?
They have a reading list? That is bananas. I mean, I'll give them this. That's out of the box. Damn, a reading list. Respect. I mean, I'm all for reading. Read more books. You know, hashtag read more books. Part of me, at one point, you know, I'm split between a lot of channels right now, so I don't have a lot of free time on my hands. But once, you know, if we had a little more time, at one point I did think about starting a James Skrmetta book club channel where we had a book of the month, and then every week or twice a week or whatever, there'd be a video like reviewing however many chapters of the book, and then every month we would complete a book, and we'd have like, you know, whatever, however many videos reviewing and talking about the book. Very book club-esque. I think that'd be a cool idea. So, you know, we always talk about the first phase of my channel, second phase of the Skrmetta-verse. Maybe that could be a third phase, the James Skrmetta book club. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, Nate, I think this is great news, and it's something that...
My favorite author, Jonathan Franzen, ever. David Foster Wallace, way up there as well. But Jonathan Franzen, probably number one. Stephen King's up there. Steve Barry's up there. But yeah, Jonathan Franzen, I think is probably the best number one author. So after you do your top 40 soup list, then do a top 100 author list in the comments below.
That we were expecting, because we talked about Spencer Rattler for a while now. We've talked about, this is a guy who came out to Oklahoma. He was the clear-cut best player that we've seen in such a long time. Until this young, you know, cat named Caleb Williams came along, who turned out to be actually the best player that we've seen in a long time. But this guy was second just to Caleb Williams, and he was supposed to be as good as a prospect coming out of high school, was dominant at the Elite 11 camp, came in, had a killer first year in college, took that step back, got benched, never really could fight back, moved over to South Carolina, did a lot of good things over there, but he never really got his time to flourish. So this is a guy who I would say at the beginning of his career, surefire top 5, you know, top 10 first round pick. This guy was a shoo-in to be one of the next great quarterbacks in the NFL. Things happen. Another, you know, godsend of a quarterback comes down, kind of butts you down the list. You get picked up in the 5th round by the Saints. But what a great situation for you to go to.
Yeah, great situation for Rattler, great situation for the Saints. I mean, Rattler, yeah, I mean, that stuff doesn't always pan out. Like the number one rated high school quarterback, the number one rated preseason college quarterback, like all that stuff, it's not always you're guaranteed to work out. But what it does guarantee is it guarantees you have a certain physical skill, like a certain skill set. You can't be the number one consensus recruit out of high school, go to Oklahoma. You can't be the starting quarterback for a Lincoln Riley-led team. You can't beat out Caleb Williams. You can't win the Elite 11 camp. You can't be the consensus favorite for the Heisman. You can't be the consensus favorite for the number one overall pick. You can't be those things without a very strong skill set. Powerful arm, you know, accurate arm, ability, athleticism. In today's day and age, that's just a fact. Can you put it all together? That remains to be seen. We have seen plenty of consensus, Heisman favorites and plenty of consensus #1 recruits and all of that completely flame out, and they can't put it together, and it doesn't matter. So it's not a guaranteed thing of success, but it is important.
I think the Saints have a lot of great weapons all around the ball. They're very young. There's just so much potential with this team, and Spencer Rattler gets to sit behind Derek Carr, another very good quarterback who has great intangibles, a lot of great leadership ability as well. Spencer Rattler has all the physical tools, can get behind a guy like Derek Carr and learn the other things needed to be a great NFL quarterback. I think we're starting to see it all come together. Like we said, this is just OTAs. This is practice here. But this is the kind of stuff that you want to see.
But Rattler kind of had a good situation too, because he could have just sat behind Caleb Williams and floundered out at Oklahoma and then just eventually evaporated. But he goes to South Carolina where the stakes are lower, but still a good school. I mean, still like good competition, all that. He didn't go to North Dakota or Wyoming or something. He still went to an SEC school. So, I mean, yeah, South Carolina's not great, but he still got to play against tough competition. But he goes, you make a bowl game, you beat Clemson, they love you there, right? The stakes aren't that high. But it allows him to work on his game at a high level and keep developing. Then he goes to the Saints. Similar situation where, hey, virtually zero pressure. Derek Carr is a starting quarterback. There's no pressure to win the job. There's no pressure to play this season. There's no pressure to do any of that. So he can continue this super slow development that I think is so important for quarterback prospects. I'll say it because I can't prove it, but I think if Matt Leinart would have had 2 years to sit and develop instead of getting thrown into the NFL immediately, I think he would have been a good quarterback. I think a lot of players, if you give them 2 years to develop, if you give them a year even to just chill, develop, relax, learn the game, move into a new apartment, figure out the locker rooms, figure out their teammates. If you figure out what to do with all this money they have now, if you allow them some time, I think a majority of high draft picks would be fine. Where you start to see a real problem is whenever you tell that player, all right, look, I know you've had 2 months with an NFL playbook. I know you've had 2 months in this new city. I know you barely even know your teammates' names, but it's time to play in the NFL now. I know you were playing at Illinois last year, but now we're going to ask you to play against NFL defenses and learn an NFL offense. So, let's see how you do. And then they usually fail, and then their career is over. And we see it time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. So, obviously the big time players they can succeed, but developing slowly, I think, is always the better way to go as a quarterback prospect.
See him put it together. You want to see flashes on the field. This is all you can ask for up to this.
If Patrick Mahomes would have played immediately, I don't think he'd be the same Patrick Mahomes that we see now.
At this point, there's really
same with Aaron Rodgers.
Nothing
same with Jordan Love.
Else that he could do. So let's not discount the OTAs, because if he stunk throughout all OTAs, everyone would be saying he's a bust, and you're not going to say, oh, it's just OTAs, don't worry about it then. So when he's doing good, let's acknowledge that as well. And I think this is big for Spencer Rattler, because this is a guy who had a very tough time in college. I know some people are like, well, he's a great college athlete, starting quarterback for a lot of time. I think he had a tough go of it in college and really couldn't live up to his potential. But now I think we're seeing Spencer Rattler live up to that potential, and I think it's going to be great for the Saints going forward.
What a little outro. I like that beat. The thing about Rattler, too, that I like is that he's failed. I like the fact that he has failed, and it didn't matter. He got benched. He lost out to Caleb Williams. He had to transfer. He didn't win the Heisman. All the stuff he was supposed to do, he didn't do. He got drafted in the 5th round, not the 1st round. And I don't think it has really impacted him negatively. He has really fought and clawed to be here. He could have easily taken the millions of dollars he got in NIL to go to Oklahoma and South Carolina. And he could have said, you know what? Whatever. I'll just be a backup, or I'll go play in the Canadian League. I'll take my millions of dollars and I'm done. I don't really care. But I feel like he got that humble pie, and it did him good, and he reacted positively. And I love that he has a little bit of that in him. I love that he got humbled, but he bounced back strong. That's powerful to me, and I like that, because we hear like, oh, well, he was a prima donna in his high school documentary. So yeah, that was before he got benched. That was before he had to transfer. That was before South Carolina. That was before all this other stuff. So it's just all the negatives that we hear about Rattler were, I think, remedied by kind of his hard, winding journey. Now, I say all that to say, does that mean he's better than Jake Haener? I don't know. And the good news is I don't have to know for the next 2 years. I don't have to tell you that Rattler or Haener is going to be an all-pro, because right now we're focused on Derek Carr. Right now we want Derek Carr to be the best quarterback for the Saints. Right now we're worried about Derek Carr leading this team to an NFC South championship. So if Haener ends up being the guy in 2 years and he's the next franchise quarterback and he becomes an all-pro, cool. I'll be happy and root for Jake Haener. If Spencer Rattler ends up being the guy, great. Love it. So the Rattler is interesting because of his story. He does have a very interesting story, and I do appreciate it. So, but let me know in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. Get on down there. So you got the soup, you got the author, you got the book list, but get on down in the comments below and let me know what you think about Spencer Rattler, about Jake Haener, about the quarterback situation in New Orleans. It's a beautiful situation because of how consistent and stable it is at the top, which allows for serious competition in the middle and potentially serious development. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Oh, and also in the comments, let me know what you think about the video switch. Was it weird to watch me on the right side of your screen versus your left? I think I like the left more. I think I like how it looks on the left more. So I doubt we switched to the right. Maybe I need to switch my microphone. Maybe I need to move my mic coming from this side of the desk. Then I had to move my mouse pad, and that would be problematic. Also, top 10 favorite mice down in the comments below as well. Is number 1 Ratatouille, or is number 1 Fievel from the critically acclaimed movie Fievel Goes West? Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.